I was hoping to do all of this in 10 minutes. It doesn't seem to have happened, but if you're still with me on this one, thank you for sticking around. I hope you're enjoying it so far. So let's carry on. Got Mozart piano concertos. Love a bit of Mozart. I've got one of my favourites, The Muppet Show. I love The Muppet Show. Big fan ever since I was a kid of anything Henson related. We've got Muppet Show Volume 2. I used to sit with my best mate when I was about 4 or 5, and we just learned the whole script for these 2 records. The Muppets Take Manhattan, probably my favourite Muppets film actually. I love the soundtrack to that one, could sing it all day. My Fair Lady soundtrack. Nirvana In Utero. Nirvana, I'm of that age where Nirvana were a huge deal to me as a teenager, and I've only just got it on record, so this is a remastered version, but yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I seem to have another copy of Carl Orff. I don't know why what's that doing in it. I don't think I've listened to either. A bit of Pan Pipes. One of my dad's favourites when I was growing up was Tom Paxton, Ramblin' Boy. Love, love, love this album. One of the best American folk albums, if you ask me. Unfortunately, look, missing a big chunk out of it, so I have to be careful in playing this one. But I can't get rid of it because it's more the memories with that one. But I do have it on CD, so I listen to it quite a lot. Though it's not the same without the all the crackles and pops that you get out of the record version. Another great album, Pentangle, Basket of Light, great English folk band with Bert Jansch, one of my favourite guitarists. Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, Peter and the Wolf. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Again, I was quite late to the party on this one because I was so into punk as a teenager. I was kind of like, I can't listen to anything that's prog or anything that's... But actually, listen without prejudice, and this will take you places. Gorgeous. Now into my Queen, big Queen fan. Queen 1 or Queen 2, probably the most Spinal Tap album ever created before Spinal Tap. Sheer Heart Attack, great album. You've got Now I'm Here, which is one of my favourite Queen songs. In the Lap of the Gods, Stone Cold Crazy, brilliant. Another one of my favourite Queen albums, News of the World. Love, love, love the gatefold on this. Check this out. That is so cool. I love the way it's kind of almost 3D on there as well. Very War of the Worlds. I love it. So yeah, love that album. Flash, Gordon, cheesy, genius. The one that got me into them was, I think I was about 6 when this came out. Yeah, 1986. Kind of Magic, love it. Live Magic, a lot of fun. I thought I had more Queen albums than that, maybe not. The Bumper Rainbow album, check those guys out. Aren't they amazing? Rod, Jane and Freddie. Lou Reed, Berlin, great album that came after Transformer. Quite difficult to listen to in places. It's dark album, but brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Big hits, High Tide and Green Grass by the Rolling Stones. A band I've just got into, really got into last year is Roxy Music. As a big Bowie fan, they're his contemporaries, and they do some really interesting experimental stuff, so definitely worth checking out. I've got the first 2 albums coming in the post as sort of belated Christmas presents, but I found this one, which is their 3rd album, Stranded, yesterday, and it's great. It's really good. So yeah, check out Roxy Music, really good. And their last album, very much a gear change, but yeah, beautiful. It's got More Than This. I really like While My Heart Is Still Beating on this one as well. That's a great one. Sati, I can't say his name, but he's yeah, I love a bit of Sati. Great bit of classical music. Let's move some of these along. Another classic album, of course, Sesame Street Fever. Oh yes, it's exactly how you think it will sound, for better or for worse. Never mind the bollocks. Here is the Sex Pistols, or here are the Sex Pistols. And yeah, again, another crucial album for me. This, absolutely obsessed with this when I was about 16. I think when they did their reunion in Hyde Park or Finsbury Park. Love every song on this album, and it made me want to play the sort of guitar that I play. I love it, absolutely love it. Can't say enough about it. Right, now we're into the Paul Simon. Get yourself a drink, because he's my favourite songwriter. This might take a while. I'll go through him as quick as I can. So we've got Simon and Garfunkel, Sounds of Silence. Great album, things like Sounds of Silence on it, Kathy's Song, which is probably the best love song that I can think of. Homeward Bound, yeah, brilliant. Bookends, very experimental, goes quite well. Listen to this one with Sgt. Pepper, because it's their most experimental album and I love it. Bridge Over Troubled Water, everyone has this in their collection, and quite rightly so. It's brilliant from beginning to end. Best of, greatest hits. Then we're into Paul Simon's solo career. I prefer his solo stuff to Simon & Garfunkel. Don't judge, it's just the way I am. Paul Simon absolutely could not be without this album. It has been there for me every step of the way, this album. Love every single track on it, and yeah, it's very interesting because it's him sort of stripped down, really. It's not like the lavishness of Bridge Over Troubled Water. It's much more intimate. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Get these in the right order. There Goes Rhymin' Simon. Really fun album, but it's also got things like Something So Right, which is absolutely gorgeous. Still Crazy After All These Years, one of his most famous early albums. Probably my least favourite, but it's still, least favourite of your favourite songwriter. You're still going to love it. So, yeah, it's got things like Silent Eyes is gorgeous, Night Game is gorgeous, and the title track is brilliant as well. Live Rhyming, check out the 70s flares on there. That's a live version of, so that's out of order. That needs to go there, I do apologise. One Trick Pony, his short-lived acting career, and he played everything on this. It was a movie. I actually really like the movie. It's not without its flaws, but the music's brilliant on it, and it's, as a musician myself, I can understand the sort of the struggles that he goes through in it. So it's good. This isn't a record. It's a CED. It's for playing in an old machine that I don't have, which basically played visual records. I'm going to see if I can get it out. No, I can't. But yeah, it's got a record inside this that plays visually. And it's him live in concert from about that time. Another really underrated Paul Simon album, Heart and Bones, really experimental, great stuff. Love Hearts and Bones, I love Allergies, I love Think Too Much, great album. Of course, everyone's favourite, Graceland, can't say any more than has already been said. Beautiful album, really got himself out of his rut at that point and took him into a new era. Interview Picture Disc from around that time. Pretty poor sound quality, but very interesting to listen to. Probably my favourite Paul Simon album, or certainly one of them, Rhythm of the Saints. This one my dad used to have on CD, which I've nicked off him, and it blew me away when I first heard this. The sounds on it are gorgeous, multi-layered, the lyrics are so shrewd, so aching in places, but just, love it. I could go on about that all day, so I won't. Greatest hits acceptable. Then we're into the Banshees, so back on to the next. I think that's going to take me on to the next one.